Wolfden. Let me know that you're here. Drop a comment. Hit the like button. That's how we let other people know that we exist without being markety or salesy or anything like that. We just engage a little bit. So just let me know that you're here. I can see the chat now. And we're going to get rolling on base case, okay? Somebody let me know you're ready to go, and I will start rolling. So here, I'm going to go through, this is video 2 on the base case. The first one is a big picture overview. What we're going to do is I'm going to start doing some of these live, and then for our Guardian tier and our Direwolf tier, we'll do customization and Q&A and all that stuff, okay? So this is kind of the container in which we're to contain the conversation, and Guardians are going to start getting links to join Q&A after these, right? And the reason is everybody's impatient and they get greedy and they get all kinds of crazy about their decision making. And we cannot spend time, me personally, but also our team, we cannot spend time with people that have not made some sort of sacrifice or commitment to being adults. Okay, so you're gonna get all this free stuff conceptually. The actual details are gonna be stashed away in Guardian and Direwolf because it's different for everybody. It requires some customization, and if we're not careful, we do more harm than good. Okay, so here is the base case strategy. This is number 2, strategy. I'm going to kind of break down the way to think about the base case, okay? Let me make sure that that looks like it needs to look for you. All right, base case strategy. Now this is our base case. This goes back to this payment calculator, right? I think I have a better version of this. I definitely have a better version of this, but it's neither here nor there. This will work. If we have let's look into something real quick. All right. Let me swap this out for you. There we go. So our base case is that there's something that you want, right? And if you've done the work, watch the first video, do the math, use a certainty app to figure out what you actually need. And so if we say, I want to make $10 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in 10 years, our base case is that with a ton of reliability, we can get a 70% return. 70% return a year. That's all we need. Okay? And all we have to do is either add $648 a month into our machine to get $10 million a year, or check this out. If we start, let's say we start with $12,000 in our base. We don't have to add any additional fiat. We only need to add negative $53, okay? So if you're adding fiat to make it go faster, you're in many ways you could be handicapping yourself, right? Trying to speed it up. So we're operating on the assumption that you've done the work and you've said, I need $5 million in 9 years. Our base case, again, is at 70% without fail. Like I'm not even, mine is much, much higher than this, but we're making a base case of 70% as long as you follow along with our base case strategy, right? And if you start with, let's say $10,000, $56 a month is what you need to put in, okay? That is the power of compounding, and most of you are mucking it up. How many of you started with more than 10 grand and are not on track to be at 5 million? It's most people I talk to, right? So I'm going to break down our base case and why it is what it is. First, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. We're sharing what we like to do. And what I'm presenting is the thing that I can help give you perspective on. It is not the thing you must follow. Okay? Be responsible. Be responsible. Don't abdicate responsibility to a guy on YouTube. So back to the 3 C's. Again, without clarity, you cannot have certainty. Without certainty, you cannot collapse time. Most people are rushing. They're trying to collapse time having no idea how to do it, that's certainty, and having no idea where they're starting or where they're going. Okay, that's clarity. That's this piece here. I need $5 million in 9 years, a rate of 70% a year, which we can get consistently, no question about it. And I'll tell you why this is so important, the 70% rate. And if you already have $10,000 in our base case, then you actually don't really have to do anything new. You don't have to add any new fiat. Right? Now this might be different. 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Let's say we got 11 years. Base rate doesn't change. You'd still get there. Right? And if you're starting with nothing, if you're just starting, you just need to put about $492 into the base of our base case every month, and you get there. Okay? So if you do the work, if you don't do this work, we cannot help you. When you say, should I do this or this? I don't know. You didn't do the work. But if you do the work and you say, I want to, and we're on track, and you say, I want to make this happen faster, you're going to start losing the support of the Wolfden, not because we don't love you and want you to do well, but because that kind of rushing is dangerous. We don't want to be responsible for it. We don't want to encourage it, okay? So base case, clarity, certainty, collapsing time. Figure out what you need. And then realize how simple it is if you just stop pushing buttons like a maniac. Our base case is built on asset accumulation in the short term. We cannot look at US dollar value in the short term. Why? Because these assets fluctuate so much. Right? You can get 100 of an asset at $1 and it can go up to $3. Then it go down to $1.50. You're still winning. You got a free asset. No matter what, you're winning because it was free if you yielded it. Okay? So we have to look at how do we accumulate assets. We have to be very, very careful about which assets we choose. But if we choose the right assets, it's asset accumulation, value and buying power over the long term. Right? We're not saying ignore the US dollar value. My assumption is you want this value to buy stuff, okay? So over the long term, we pick assets that are more likely to be worth more over the long term. But we can't look at it day to day. You can't, it doesn't, you're going to handicap yourself, okay? So we're asset accumulation in the short term. We strategically pick out the assets and share them with the Wolfden that we believe are going to be worth way more or have buying power. Golden banana, for example. Golden banana you cannot sell, but it has buying power. You can get things with golden banana that are very, very valuable. Okay, that's buying power. So we're biasing asset accumulation in the short term, value and buying power over the long term. Right? Now take a moment to think about the golden goose. If you don't know the story, it's a man got a goose, and the goose laid a golden egg every day, maybe 2 golden eggs. I don't know. This guy was getting wealthier than he ever imagined because he had a goose that was laying golden eggs, right? But he was not getting rich fast enough. And then one day, after, I'm just reading from the slide here, after he finished counting his money, the idea came to him that he could get all the golden eggs at once by killing the goose and cutting it open. So he did. And when the deed was done, not a single golden egg did he find. His precious goose was dead. No longer was he printing golden eggs. He killed his money printer. Most of you are doing the same thing. I see the questions in Discord. I see the questions in Telegram. I see the behaviors of non-Wolfden members, and they're wondering why, hey, how come you just keep I share some of the stuff that we're doing. How come you just keep growing your net worth over and over and over and over again? I'm trying really hard and I can't seem to get the same kind of growth, and that's because you keep killing the golden goose. So think about this, because we're going to come back to this. But our base case is building a bigger, beefier, more a golden goose with a higher capacity to produce. Every time you go, can't I get those eggs faster if I kill the thing? You got to think back to this. This is I mean, it's a parable for a reason, right? So, killing the golden goose, number one way, set yourself up to lose. Now, you may have a different golden goose. You may have a business or a job that pays hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars a year, and you may not need a golden goose. You already have one. It pays you in cash, and you buy what you want. If you already have one, you don't have to build one. Just buy a $5 million of Bitcoin and wait. Okay? But if you don't have a golden goose, that's what we're showing you how to build. If you do have a golden goose, come into Direwolf. I'll show you what to do with the money. Or we'll talk about, because I want to know what you're doing too. All right, getting impatient. Getting impatient leads to killing the golden goose. Attention deficit. Okay? Strengthening your attention deficit. That means instead of just letting the golden goose do its thing, it's like walking outside and poking it and following it around, waiting for the next one. What this looks like in our base case is staring at ApeSwap, right? Staring at your wallet, refreshing your screen. It's an attention deficit. You're strengthening your attention deficit. You're looking for a dopamine hit. You're looking for excitement. You're looking for the numbers to go up on a very, very short time preference. You can't do that. FOMO and greed, that's obvious. You might go, oh, look at this. This is pumping over here. And it's very tempting maybe to take apart your golden goose to go jump on that pump. But the question for my people, okay, and if it doesn't resonate with you, you're not my people. And that's okay. I'm not your people either. If we have solved the problem, if we can sit down and say, I'm going to make my $15 million in 11 years, so we say 5 years, $5 million in 5 years, right? And if I put $10,000 into my base case strategy, I'm going to get there. It's definitely the fastest path to 5 million I've ever seen. And we'll get there faster because this is a conservative rate. The answer or the mindset or the frame, in my opinion, when somebody goes, hey, did you see that this is pumping over here? I say, what the hell does that have to do with me? I already got clarity on what I want, and I have a straight line to lock in all of my priorities. What do I care that some other thing over there is doing well or doing poorly? It doesn't matter to me. Everybody's so worried about what everybody else is doing, and I've seen so many people have complete clarity on what to do and then actively distracting themselves. And it's always like, well, this could 10x. Who cares if it 10x's? You took apart your golden goose. What does that have to do with you? Okay? You don't have to agree, but just think about it. What does anything else going on have to do with you? Unless you have backed into it as part of your strategy to get what you want. Right? So, this is what most people do. This is the very, very simple. Buy a coin. Hope it goes up. Buy low, sell high. Call it buy and pray. It's not a strategy. And if you're a day trader, if you're a phenomenal day trader, great. You're going to spend your days day trading, and you're going to make some money every day. You're going to lose some money and make some money. The great day traders in crypto make more than they lose. But it's buy and pray. I don't love that strategy. This is a collapsing time strategy. Only after you have locked in your base case would I do any kind of buy and pray. It's my personal preference. All right, so that's what most people are doing. Very low probability of success. Okay? Now, when it is successful, you may do really, really well. It's okay. To each their own. Okay? Our base case strategy looks like this. We have a base, and I'll explain how this is built and how I think about it. And that base produces a different asset. And if you understand how decentralized world works, it makes perfect sense. Now, and then this asset produces another asset, which produces another asset, which produces another asset, as long as you want to go. But ultimately, we get down to our macro belief or our long hold. Our macro belief may be, I want a ton of US dollars, right? And that's what we spit out here. Mine is Bitcoin. Okay, I want a ton of Bitcoin, so that's my end here. Now, here's the thing. By following a base case, I grow this base asset. I'll tell you how I decide what that is. It yields this asset. This asset can compound and grow itself, right? Because we don't pick things that have a high probability of being less valuable later. It yields this asset, which yields this asset, and so on and so forth. At the end of it all, if it's 10 years, right? I own this and this and this and this, and I've gotten a whole bunch of the thing that I want most for free. And I own all of these assets. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of each of them. So a lot of people are doing is say, I want to put money in and I want more of this. Right? In 10 years from now, you could do that. You could put money in to a farm. You could yield banana, sell your banana. And you will have more money. Yes. After 10 years, I will own a ton of this asset, 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 and I'm printing money. I'm in a much, much, much more powerful position with more buying power and probably a lot more value, USD value. Right? This is wealth accumulation. It's not money printer. It is a money printer, but it's wealth accumulation. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So we may say, somebody says, oh, well, can't I just sell this and just buy this? I'm like, yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. Right? But this was compounding, this was compounding, and this was compounding and spitting out free assets. You don't need to speed these things up. Why would you speed these things up? It's like interest in a bank account, but thousands of percent more. Right? Hopefully that makes sense. And it compounds and it compounds and it compounds and it compounds. So asset accumulation is our base case. Now, you can always customize it. I'm going to help Guardians and Direwolves do this. The reason we have a single base case is focus and intent, which means if we want to help a ton of people get wealthy, right, we need everybody on a similar base case. Now, you don't have to be on this base case to be in the Wolfden. You don't. But you can't go craft some random strategy with a million different coins we've never heard of and then come in and be like, help me. Right? What happens is everybody else loses focus and intent. We have to be focused on helping people when we can and with the intent of troubleshooting their problems. Right? We can't have 10 team members for every different random variable strategy you could possibly think of. We have a team member, or we have a team that is built to support a base case. You want to go off on your own, that's fine. Understand what you're doing. You may do significantly better. You might make millions. That's great. We don't want credit for it. We want credit maybe for helping you know how to think about these things. But you might also blow yourself up, and we don't want blame for that. So if you do not use a base case, then you cannot have our focus and intent, which is fine. That's not a punishment. It's we just cannot possibly master a million different strategies and keep up with a million different coins because we don't need to. We've locked in our wealth. We're trying to help you do the same. Okay, so this is how we think about asset accumulation. I never buy anything I don't want. I never buy anything I don't want. That's very, very important. Now, the more buying power an asset has, the closer to the base of the base case. Okay, so I'll give you an example. This might be Lori, and I'll break this down in a minute, right? Or fiat, US dollars, even Bitcoin. It doesn't have a lot of buying power in terms of a strategy. It has a lot of buying power in terms of purchases, but I can get 400%, 500%, 1,000% APY with other stuff. I can get free assets with Banana. They have buying power, okay? So I never buy anything that I don't want. This is probably the most important thing. So when somebody says, well, can I just sell this asset and buy this one? You're getting rid of an asset that could be very, very valuable later, and you are buying something that you don't want. So you have to make sure, if you're going to sell one thing to buy another, it's an asset that you want. Right? It's okay to yield assets you don't want because they're free. So I do not like to put dry powder, BNB, BUSD, Ethereum. I do not exchange them. I do not exchange things that I want for things that I do not want. Okay? I do not. I'll explain that in a minute. Okay? And the more buying power, just talk about. So here's our base case strategy as of right now. Guard BNB LP. That will probably always be the base because I know for certain that I can provide an opportunity to get well over 70% a year as with Guard as a lead domino for everybody. If you do not want to use Guard BNB LP, that's okay. The biggest risk is you go to something like this and you search by APR and you're like, ooh, look how big this APR is. I would not use this as a base case because I do not want Maru. I don't want Para. I don't want GNT. I don't know anything about them. I don't know their team. And you can see here, these pools are probably ending soon. So my golden goose would die by default. So there's a lot of things that have great APY and APR. It doesn't matter because we only need 70%. Anything over 70% is a win. Okay. But I don't chase APRs or APYs because I only buy things that I want. Worst case scenario, if all these pools go away and all these farms go away and whatever, right? Then I did not buy a bunch of shit I don't want. Okay? It's really important. We only buy stuff we want. People get stuck on the APY and trying to make this happen faster, but the goal is not to make it happen faster. Okay? Let me explain. You could just do Guard BNB LP and compound it right here. You could put, let's say 10 million, need an extra zero, in 10 years. Okay? You could put $10,000 into Guard BNB LP and just let it compound. Just walk away and let it compound, and you will get to where you want to be much, much faster because you're going to get hundreds APY here, hundreds. Just guard it, that's all. You just compound the Guard BNB LP. Yes, you can do that. As of yesterday, we actually have a way to do just put your Guard BNB, let it compound. Right? So if you want more options, more assets, you go to Guard BNB LP here, and you would yield banana. Right? So now you have this asset sitting here. It's yielding this one right here. Now, if you want, you could sell the banana and get more Guard BNB LP. Why? Because it's a fatter goose. It'll spit out fatter eggs. So if you don't like the amount of banana you're getting because you want more banana, don't take the next step and spread your resources thinner. Just keep compounding this over and over and over until you're getting the amount of banana that you want. That's exponentially better than trying to get all the way to the finish line because there's no finish line. We're just accumulating assets. Okay? Now, if you have enough banana, you're getting the banana you want. I put it in the banana maximizer, but you can get something like Lori. This is our base case currently. You get something like Lori. Now, you can take this Lori and you could sell it and add to the Guard BNB LP, which gives you more banana, which will yield more Lori. And you just do that for as long as you want. You don't have to take any more steps. You can even take Lori and get more Lori. That's an option. Right? And I'll break all the details down. I'm just showing you that, like, you don't have to get to the end. Literally, just this step right here will get you where you want to be. This gets you where you want to be with more certainty because banana is a hedge. If you want to sell your banana, then I would only sell my banana to get more Guard BNB LP. I would not sell it to do something further down the line. That doesn't make any sense if you know how math works. You don't sell something here to get something down here. Right? Hopefully, again, it's like buying real estate and collecting rent. Right? And then with some of that rent money, you buy something else. Right? As long as you have that real estate, you can keep collecting rent and keep buying something else. If you get really impatient and you sell your real estate just to buy this thing down here, this something else, cool. You got that something else, but now you're done accumulating it. You no longer have real estate to collect rent on. Right? It's asset accumulation, like wealthy. This is what wealthy people do. All right, so Lori, you can stop right here if you want. All of these should be nice and juicy. Don't take one banana and try to stake it here and get like 0.0004 Lori. And if this doesn't make sense to you, it will just go through our other stuff. It'll make sense. You could take Lori and just stake it for B&B. You take that B&B, you go all the way back to guard BLP. You can put it in your bank account. You can do whatever you want with it. You can do pre-sales, take moonshots, whatever you want. But here's the thing. You're taking pre-sales, or you're doing pre-sales, taking moonshots, yada, 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 and you are still accumulating more banana, and you are still accumulating more Lori. You are getting in a stronger and stronger and stronger position every day. You are accumulating more and more assets that have buying power and value, and you're not paying for them, right? So you want to sell your banana to buy Lori to speed it up. You're not going to have banana. You paid for this Lori, so you better be damn sure you want Lori, and you no longer have the compounding happening right here, right? See how this works? Where you want to draw the line is up to you, right? And for me, I just roll it into Bitcoin. That's it. I've accumulated a ton of Bitcoin this way. Now, if I put fiat into, depending on the time, I might just buy Bitcoin. I might. If my machine is nice and healthy, I might just buy Bitcoin. It's fine. But it's like going to the store and buying a golden egg. You can buy golden eggs. It doesn't make any sense to kill your goose that's given them to you for free, though. Right? Dual tracks. Do both. You'll get a lot more golden eggs if you do it that way. Right? So just remember, the golden goose. Right? And remember how to set yourself up to lose. Kill the golden goose, get impatient, attention deficit. Seek thrills. You want to go, ooh, let me compound my banana because I'm bored. That's an attention deficit. It becomes a problem because you start getting FOMO, you start being greedy, you start making bad decisions. Right? And the attention intervention gap. 99% of the time, people say this plan doesn't work in any plan. Fitness, nutrition, business. It has nothing to do with the plan. People have changed plans 50 times, but if you observe their behavior, they have never changed their behavior. The plan is not the problem. They're gauging the efficacy of a plan. They're saying, nah, I tried this diet. It doesn't work. But no, you wrote the diet down. Your behavior never changed. We don't know if the diet works or not. Right? So if you don't work the process appropriately, then you forfeit the right to gauge the efficacy of it. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So just to recap, this is our base case as of right now. This could be US dollar. At any point, you could just compound this, walk away, and get what you want. You could compound just this part till the numbers are big enough to make you happy. Okay? And then you would take the next step, and so on and so forth. So I hope that makes sense. This is the golden goose right here, but this is really the golden goose, the guard B and BLP. As long as the APR is decent, like 254%, that'll get you way further than, that'll get you way more than you need to get what you want if you actually have the clarity and the certainty, right? The rest is just bonus, accumulating assets, and people are stressing out about everything that happens after this. And this is one of the only worlds where somebody with less capital can immediately start compounding gains on top of gains on top of gains on top of gains. And they're still complaining, which means we have to help articulate it better, but some people just are not built to succeed in this, in anything that takes time, like compounding wealth. And you got to gut check yourself. There's if you want money now, and that's okay, you got to pay the bills and stuff. But if you want money now, what you're doing is you're discounting the future. You're saying, well, I could let this banana accumulate. I think we get about 300% APY on banana. All right, so we get 250 here, and then compound 300 on top of it. And people are still like, well, can't I sell this banana? You're discounting the future. It means $1,000 today is more important than, $30,000 next year. And that's fine. Just know that you're making that decision, you're discounting the future, and that's probably why you've had a very hard time accumulating any kind of wealth. Right. So that's our base case. Hope that's useful. We're going to do some private calls with Guardian tier and Direwolf tier members, help you dial this in, help you customize this. There are a lot of options. You go Guard BNB LP or Guard BNB. Oh yeah, Guard BNB LP. There's actually a few things you can do with it. And then when you have banana, there's a few things you can do with banana. There's a few different things that change over time. This base case stays the same. There's different things you can do with Lori, right? And once you get in Lori, there's a lot of variations of this that might suit people. But if you cannot do this without panicking or FOMOing or rushing, you're going to have a very, very difficult time, and we're going to have a really hard time supporting you. So it's base case. Hopefully it's useful. Hopefully you understand asset accumulation and this time preference. Day to day, we can't look at the US dollar value. Obviously, long term, it's a US dollar value that we're strategizing towards. Cool. I'll see you guys. If you're Guardian tier or if you're Direwolf tier, there will be a link in the Discord soon that will get you the time and date and link to join the Q&A, and we'll start working through this stuff for you guys personally.